Hi guys, welcome to Unit 4 Lesson 2, Solve One-Step Linear Equations. The great thing about linear equations is that you've been working with them for a very long time. We just didn't call them linear equations, okay? We've called them one-step equations, two-step equations, multi-step equations, right? The big thing is you're solving for a variable, okay? And one thing we haven't really discussed, or maybe you have, but we haven't this year at least, is that when you graph a linear equation, you end up getting a straight line, okay? It follows a pattern where it's like whatever you put into the equation, it goes up by that same amount, okay? And the highest exponent is 1. Eventually you'll get to equations that have exponents, which then they are not straight lines when you graph them, okay? But we're not there yet. All right, I've got 4 examples for us. I think you're probably going to be like, wow, all right, well, this is great because I already learned this in the past. So a little bit of a review. I've got all my examples set up right here on one page. Number 1 is also number 1 from your practice, and it's 19 plus x equals 3. So I chose this one because in this setup, the 19 comes first, okay? Which is totally fine, but I want us to be able to talk about it. So with that, you always need to consider the sign that is in front of a number. So like this is a positive 19, right? Because there isn't a negative sign in front of it. So in order to get x by itself, which that's our goal, is to figure out what is x equal to, we need to get rid of that 19. There's 2 things you could do. One, we could flip-flop this so it's easier to look at. We could say x plus 19, because when we add, right, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter the order. Okay, so that's one. Or we also just could have subtracted the 19 from the position that it was in before. So either way, we would have gotten there. All right, because here, well, now it's like x plus 19. Okay. To get rid of it or to solve, we're going to use the opposite operation from what we see in the problem. So in this case, we would subtract 19 from both sides. Believe it or not, that's a 9. Okay. 19 minus 19 is 0, so those cancel, and we're left with x on the left. Yay, that was our goal, right? Also, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Okay, so that's a big thing as well in order to keep the equation balanced. And then 3 minus 19 is negative 16. Okay, so that would be our final answer. Now, let's just say we had left it how it was here. Well, we would have done the same thing. We would have said, okay, I've got a positive 19. Well, to get rid of it, I still have to subtract 19. So that means I'm left with positive x, or just x, which is equal to negative 16. Okay, so either way. And then you can check your work, right? That's always a good plan. And we can say, okay, is 19 minus 16 3? It is, so we know that we're correct. Okay, so, and I did that by just plugging that negative 16 right back in here. Okay? All right, number 2, which is also number 4 on your practice. On this one, right now we are dividing by 5. Well, if we're going to do the opposite operation from what we see in the problem, then we need to multiply by 5. Because when you multiply and divide by the same number, you get 1, right? 5 divided by 5 is 1, and so we would be left with just 1x. Well, whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So 20 times 5 is 100. So x is equal to 100. And again, plug it back in. Is 100 divided by 5 20? It is, so we know we're right. I chose 2 from your quick check, which is really rare, but I just wanted to make sure we saw different types of things together. So for this one, this is number 1 from your quick check. We've got negative 12 plus x equals 48. So again, we could flip-flop them if we want, or just leave it how it is. We've got a negative 12. So in order to cancel that out, we need a positive 12. Okay, Well, negative 12 plus 12 is 0, so those cancel. We're just left with a positive x. And then 48 plus 12 is 60. And again, if you're nervous, especially about those negative signs, which makes total sense, right? Plug it back in. Is negative 12 plus 60 48? It is, so we know that we're correct. The last one I'm going to do with you is number 3 on your quick check. We have 4x equals negative 24. So right now I am multiplying by 4. The opposite of that would be to divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so that cancels and we're left with just x. And then negative 24 divided by 4. You got to be careful with this. We haven't talked about this in a little while, that a negative divided by a positive, when those signs are different, you get a negative answer. So this case would be negative 6. Okay? So I hope that helps. That's quite a few of your problems that you have to do today, so I hope that helps a lot. As always, ask questions if you have them.